Skyler.
Can you drink beer on the internet?
Can you?
I don't know, man. We'll find out, I suppose. I'm Jonny from Children. What's up? I'm squinting right now, but I have sunglasses on.
We met in LA when I lived there, and Jonny was on vacation from Vancouver, where he was living. And we thought each other were cool, so we played music together.
Yeah, we met poolside, and our friends had like a bunch of instruments set up in the garage, and so we went in there and used the instruments, and then it was cool. So then we always talked about starting a band one day.
Kind of well, for me, kind of right away. I was psyched on the style of music that he was into,
and I was psyched that I could just like throw any badass riff, crazy riff at Sky, and he would just spit it right back at me. So like, I mean, we both like work out the songs all more together now, but you know, at that point, it was just like it's really fast for us to play together because we have to like sit around and wait for someone to figure something out. You know, you're like, here's this thing. He's like, oh, this thing, and you're like, yeah, we'll figure out this thing. You know,
easy.
We're a fucking metal band. We're a metal band, but I think that, I mean, I like the term crossover or something. I mean, I think it falls. Metal is such like a broad term really these days. I mean, how many subgenres of metal are there? But I would say we were influenced by metal bands and a lot of like probably the early doom like 70s stuff. And all the way up, and punk and thrash. I mean, I think we both grew up playing more like punk rock, but as you become a better guitar player, it's sort of like metal is inevitably going to creep into your sound. Me and Skyler were both playing with this band called Love Is Laughter, a New York band, Brooklyn band, that's definitely not heavy metal, but really great songwriting. And so we had both played in the kind of the inception of Sam Jane's record, who writes all that music. And so we ended up in the studio while he was working with Joe. And Skyler laid some vocals and some instruments, and I laid some instruments down, and we were making that record. And we just hit it off with Joe, so he came to check out our show, and he loved it, and it just sort of went from there, you know?
We didn't even know what he was up to. We just could tell that he was really knew what he was doing, and he was obviously an old school dude in the studio. And then come to find out he's done some pretty heavy
some pretty
stuff.
Crazy shit. I think we're probably the heaviest band he's ever recorded, though.
I mean, yeah, heavy just in terms
but heavy as in like Keith Richards and Prince and shit.
And the Clash.
Yeah.
So that was
rad band.
Totally awesome.
But I mean, he's an amazing producer in that he just knows how to keep it simple and sound great. You know, and that's what we really set out to do. I mean, being our first record, it's just like if we can just go in there, hammer it out live, and be honest about how we sound. Like it should, you know, it's like how we sound live with a few more bells and whistles.
It's sort of obvious when it needs to happen. I think there's usually a lead, and then I'll play that, and Jonny will play Jonny will
figure out the harmony to it.
Know what the harmony is, and he'll do that. And then sometimes it's a little bit overkill, and we don't do it. Sometimes it works out great, and then it adds to the song.
I mean, I don't think we're consciously trying to be a twin guitar band, but I think if you get like two dudes that want to shred together, it's just a natural conclusion.